Messi hits one. Oh, what a goal! That is sensational. Absolutely outstanding. What a way to make it 6.
To be the best, you have to beat the best. That's not just a saying. It's the only way legends are actually made. And when you look at Lionel Messi's career, 4 World Cups attended, 1 lifted, 14 Champions League campaigns, 4 trophies, 10 La Liga titles, 8 Ballon d'Ors, Copa America champion. You see a mountain of achievements. But that's not what makes him terrifying. What makes Messi terrifying is the trail of fallen giants he left behind to get there. Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, some of the greatest players and clubs football has ever produced. And every single one of them can tell you the exact moment Lionel Messi destroyed them. This isn't a highlight reel. This is a graveyard. And today, we're walking through it. Welcome to the victims of Lionel Messi. If you want to understand Messi's dominance, you don't start with individual players. You start with the club that feared him most. Real Madrid, 15 Champions League titles, the most decorated institution in football history. A club that has seen Puskas, Di Stefano, Zidane, Ronaldo Nazario, and Cristiano Ronaldo wear their colours. And none of them terrorised a rival the way Messi terrorised them. 26 goals, 14 assists, across La Liga, Champions League, Copa del Rey. For over 15 years, Lionel Messi turned the Santiago Bernabeu into his personal proving ground. It started in 2007. Messi was 19 years old. Barcelona were down to 10 men. Real Madrid had just taken the lead. The game was slipping away. And then Messi decided he wasn't going to let that happen. He scored once, Madrid equalised. He scored again, Madrid equalised again. Then he completed his hat-trick, dancing past Sergio Ramos, gliding past Ivan Elvera, slotting the ball past Iker Casillas like it was a training exercise. It was the first hat-trick scored against Real Madrid in 12 years, and a teenager with 10 men behind him had just done it at the Santiago Bernabeu. Madrid won La Liga that season, but they had found their kryptonite. From that point on, Messi didn't just beat Real Madrid, he humiliated them. November 2010, La Manita, 5-0, Messi with 2 assists, floating past Pepe, Ramos, Marcelo like they were training cones. That Madrid team had Kaká, Cristiano Ronaldo, Mesut Özil, Xavi Alonso, world-class players reduced to spectators. April 2017, Messi scores twice at the Bernabeu. The second goal comes in stoppage time. Barcelona win 3-2. And instead of celebrating with his teammates, Messi walks to the center of the pitch, takes off his jersey, and holds it up to the entire Madrid crowd. The stadium went silent. That wasn't just a goal. That was a declaration. This is my house now. Think about what that means for a second. Real Madrid, a club that won more European Cups than any other team in history. A club that bought Cristiano Ronaldo specifically to challenge Barcelona's dominance. And for 15 years, they couldn't stop one man. 26 goals, 10 La Liga titles for Barcelona during Messi's prime. Countless Clásicos where Madrid had no answer. Messi didn't just beat Real Madrid. He became the standard they measured themselves against and repeatedly failed to reach. But clubs aren't just institutions. Players? That's personal. And no player was affected by Lionel Messi's existence more than Cristiano Ronaldo. Let me be clear. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the greatest players to ever touch a football. 5 Champions Leagues, 5 Ballon d'Ors, over 900 career goals. A legend by any definition. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If Lionel Messi had never been born, Cristiano Ronaldo would be the undisputed greatest player of all time. No debate, no asterisks. He'd probably have 13 Ballon d'Ors instead of 5, but Messi was born, and Ronaldo spent 17 years fighting a war he could never win. It started in 2008. Ronaldo had just won the Champions League with Manchester United. He'd scored 42 goals that season. The Ballon d'Or was his. He was 23 years old and universally considered the best player on the planet. Then came May 27, 2009, the Champions League final in Rome. Ronaldo's Manchester United against Messi's Barcelona, the two best teams in Europe. And on the biggest stage in club football, Messi scored a header past Edwin van der Sar to seal a 2-0 victory. That night, the throne changed hands, and it never went back. Ronaldo moved to Real Madrid that summer. 9 years in Spain, 9 years of trying to reclaim what he lost in Rome. He won 2 La Liga titles. 2. In 9 years. Messi won 6 in that same period. Ronaldo scored 450 goals for Real Madrid. Incredible numbers. But Messi scored 474 for Barcelona while also providing more assists, winning more trophies, and collecting 4 more Ballon d'Ors. But the moment that probably haunts Ronaldo the most? April 27th, 2011. Champions League semi-final. First leg at the Bernabeu. Messi picks up the ball from Busquets in midfield. 30 yards from goal. 4 Real Madrid defenders between him and Casillas. He dribbles past Sergio Ramos, cuts inside Raúl Albiol, leaves Marcelo trailing, and slots the ball past Casillas with his right foot. The Bernabeu went silent again, and all Ronaldo could do was watch. That's the thing people forget about this rivalry. In the biggest head-to-head moments, the Champions League semi-finals, the Clásicos that decided La Liga titles, the Ballon d'Or ceremonies, Messi almost always came out on top. Ronaldo has nothing to be ashamed of. He's a 5-time Champions League winner, a living legend. But when the definitive book on this era is written, he'll be remembered as the greatest player of his generation who had the misfortune of playing at the same time as someone better. That's what Messi took from him. Not his achievements, his inevitability. Now, let's talk about the player who was supposed to end Messi's reign. Kylian Mbappe. In 2018, Mbappe was 19 years old. Lightning fast, clinically efficient, already a World Cup champion. The media had crowned him as Messi's successor before Messi had even stepped down. And in the round of 16 at the 2018 World Cup, France dismantled Argentina 4-3. Mbappe scored twice. Messi was powerless to stop it. That was supposed to be the passing of the torch. The young king overthrowing the old one. Except Messi didn't step down. He came back 4 years later with revenge on his mind. December 18th, 2022. The World Cup final. Argentina versus France. Messi versus Mbappe. The ultimate generational showdown. For 78 minutes, it looked like a coronation. Argentina led 2-0. Messi had scored 1 and assisted another. France looked completely lost. Mbappe had been invisible. And then, in the span of 97 seconds, Mbappe scored twice, equalized, dragged France back from the dead. The game went into extra time. Messi scored again to make it 3-2. Surely that was it. But Mbappe wasn't finished. He completed his hat-trick from the penalty spot. 3-3. Penalty shootout. For 30 minutes, Kylian Mbappe had Messi fans around the world clenching in terror. This was it. This was the moment the throne would be taken. And then Gonzalo Montiel stepped up. Bottom right corner. Keeper goes the wrong way. Argentina wins the World Cup. Messi had done it. At 34 years old, against the best young player on the planet, in the greatest World Cup final ever played. Mbappe scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final and still lost. He won the Golden Boot with 8 goals and still lost. He did everything humanly possible to stop Messi from achieving his dream. And it wasn't enough. That night, Messi didn't just win the World Cup. He sent a message to the next generation. The throne isn't yours until I decide to give it to you. Mbappe is a generational talent. But just like Cristiano Ronaldo before him, he'll go down in history as a legendary player who was denied his moment by Lionel Messi. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, we would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel, as we're still a small channel looking to grow and it goes a long way for us. Some victims of Messi were rivals, some were enemies, but one of them was a friend. Neymar Jr. and Lionel Messi spent 4 years together at Barcelona. MSN, the greatest attacking trio football has ever seen. 364 goals combined in 3 seasons. They were teammates, they were friends. And yet, Neymar could never escape Messi's shadow. In 2017, Neymar left Barcelona for PSG. The transfer fee? 222 million euros, a world record. And the reason? He wanted to step out of Messi's shadow and become the best player in the world himself. But leaving Barcelona didn't solve the problem, because 4 years later, they faced each other again. This time on the biggest stage South American football has to offer. July 10th, 2021. Copa America Final. Brazil versus Argentina. At the Maracana, in Rio de Janeiro. This wasn't just another final for Messi. This was legacy on the line. He'd lost 4 finals with Argentina, 2 Copa Americas to Chile, 1 World Cup to Germany. His own countrymen had burned his jersey in the streets of Buenos Aires. He'd even retired from international football at one point, only to come back because the weight of unfinished business was too heavy to ignore. If he lost again, especially to Brazil, especially with Neymar on the other side, the narrative would never change. Club legend, international failure. The match was brutal, physical, tense. Neymar put on a masterclass, dribbling past defenders, creating chances, doing everything he could to deliver Brazil their first Copa America title since 2007. But Argentina's defense held. Angel Di Maria scored early, and when the final whistle blew, Messi collapsed to his knees and wept. He'd finally done it. Argentina were champions, and he'd done it by beating his friend. Neymar will be remembered as one of the most talented players of his generation. But because of Messi, he'll also be remembered as the player who never brought glory back to Brazil. Pelé won 3 World Cups. Neymar couldn't even win 1 Copa America at home. At home. That's not Neymar's fault. That's just what happens when you're good enough to be great, but you're playing at the same time as someone who's transcendent. Messi never played in the Premier League, but that didn't stop him from destroying its biggest clubs. And nobody suffered more than Manchester United. May 27th, 2009. Champions League Final. Rome. We already talked about what that match meant for Cristiano Ronaldo, but let's talk about what it meant for Manchester United. When they were the reigning champions, Sir Alex Ferguson's team, the best squad in England. They had Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez, Ferdinand, Vidic, Van der Sar. A team built to dominate Europe for years, and Messi dismantled them. His header made it 2-0, but it was the way Barcelona played that night that broke United. Xavi, Iniesta, and Messi passed circles around them, made them look slow, predictable, outclassed. 2 years later, they met again. 2011 Champions League final at Wembley. Manchester United had rebuilt. Javier Hernandez added. This time they were ready, except they weren't. Barcelona won 3-1. Messi scored, but more than that, he conducted the entire symphony, dropping deep, threading passes, gliding past challenges like they weren't there. Sir Alex Ferguson called that Barcelona team the best he'd ever faced, and at the centre of it all was Messi. Fast forward to 2019, Champions League quarterfinals. Barcelona versus Manchester United. Different faces, different manager, same result. Messi scored twice in the second leg. The second goal was a gift from David De Gea, sure, but the first? A curling strike from outside the box after he made Fred look like a traffic cone. 3 times Manchester United faced Messi in the Champions League. 3 times they were sent home. And here's the crazy part. People still ask if Messi could have done it on a cold night in Stoke. He never played in England, but he scored 27 goals in 36 matches against English clubs. All in the Champions League. All on the biggest stage. Arsenal, 9 goals in 6 games. Manchester City, he turned the Etihad into a playground. Tottenham destroyed them in a semi-final run. Liverpool, 4 goals, including that masterclass at Camp Nou in 2019. The Premier League never got Messi, but every top English club can tell you exactly what it felt to be on the wrong side of his magic. Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar, Manchester United. Those are the headliners. But the graveyard goes deeper. Bayern Munich. Jerome Boateng's ankles broken. Manuel Neuer chipped. Twice. In the same match. In a Champions League semi-final. 4 goals total against Bayern in his career. But it's that 2015 performance that lives forever. Atletico Madrid. 32 goals against Diego Simeone's defensive fortress. A team built specifically to stop players like Messi. And he terrorized them anyway. Sevilla. 38 goals, 20 assists, the joint most assists Messi has ever recorded against a single opponent. They were relieved when he left La Liga. Athletic Bilbao, the 2015 Copa del Rey final goal. That run. That finish. Then 6 years later, another brace in another final. 29 goals total against them. Bayer Leverkusen, 7 goals in 3 matches, including 5 in one Champions League game. 5 in one match. AC Milan, 8 goals in 8 games. Juventus, 3 goals. But it's the moment in 2020 when he stood and applauded Cristiano Ronaldo's bicycle kick at the Allianz Stadium, only to remind everyone who the real king was months later. Here's a stat that puts that all in perspective. Messi has scored against 40 different clubs in the Champions League alone. 40. That's not dominance. That's inevitability. He didn't just beat the best teams in the world. He beat all of them. Repeatedly. Across different eras. Different formations. Different tactical evolutions. Italy, England, Germany, France, Spain. No country was safe. No defense was too strong. No goalkeeper too good. From Gianluigi Buffon to Manuel Neuer to Iker Casillas to Petr Cech, the greatest shot stoppers of a generation all have the same story. We tried. It wasn't enough. So here's what we're left with. Lionel Messi's legacy isn't just defined by the trophies he won. It's defined by the greatness he denied others. Cristiano Ronaldo could have been the undisputed GOAT, but Messi took that from him. Kylian Mbappe could have had his World Cup moment at 23, but Messi took that from him. Neymar could have brought glory back to Brazil, but Messi took that from him. Real Madrid could have dominated an era. Manchester United could have built a dynasty. Bayern Munich could have won more Champions Leagues, but Messi stood in the way. That's what separates legends from myths. Legends win. Myths make sure no one else can. And for 2 decades, Lionel Messi didn't just climb to the top of football. He made sure everyone who tried to follow him learned the same painful lesson. You can be great. You can be world class. You can be generational. But if you're in Messi's era, you're a victim. Let me know in the comments. Who was Messi's biggest victim? Drop your answer below. Because this was just the beginning of a graveyard.